Hello and welcome to Wildcat Week. Going to talk some men's basketball. And this past week, the team traveled to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and made it to the NAIA quarterfinals of the National Championship Tournament. Joining us now in the studio to talk about the tournament is one of the assistant coaches of the Wildcats, Jordan Weidner. Jordan, got to say right now, Coach T is got his hands full this morning, so he can't be joining us, but it's good to have you along with us.
Thanks for having us.
Talking a little about the tournament, we're going to see, in just a minute, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights of that trip, but you never take for granted. I know a lot of people expect you to go there, but it's a lot of hard work to get to that point, and it's a long season.
Yeah, especially in our conference, probably recognized as the best conference in the NAIA Division II, and man, to get out there in our league, it's special.
Well, as we said, WIW was there the entire time to follow the Wildcats along, so we're going to take a look back at that trip.
Day 2 of the IWU men's basketball team trip to the NAIA National Tournament included a very special occasion. The team traveled to the Susan B. Anthony Elementary School in Sioux Falls to spend some quality time with the students.
How many feet tall Evan is? You can go first.
1,000.
1,000? No.
The Wildcats also took to the court for a warm-up scrimmage against some very lucky fifth graders.
Definitely say the most fun part was just running around playing some 5-on-5 with their team there and with some of the kids, and had some of the school watching, so that was just a blast, you know, just to run around with them, and I know they definitely enjoyed it.
And they will get a shot off, and it is gone! Smith right in front of me. Alley-oop pass. Mangus does a scrum under the basket. Okafor now going to drive inside and score!
The endless journey to be the best is ever present with the Wildcats, who despite having the day off, still made time to hit the hardwood after their hard-fought victory over Washington Adventists in the first round of the NAIA National Tournament.
Coach is just preaching confidence, like the whole all of practice, all of games, and I think that's just what the young guys really needed. It was just confidence. So we just came in with confidence, played with confidence, and things ended up working out. So.
The opening tap, 1 o'clock. You're listening to Wildcat Tournament Basketball over 860. And the Cats with an early lead and looking for more. Driving inside now to kick it outside. Three-pointer by Coffey is good. Gets it off to Grant Smith, down inside. Mangus put it up and in. Across the line to get it off to Coffey. All the way down, it wouldn't stay. But the rebound went in by Wayne. Grant Smith may go coast to coast. Cats up 12, 40 seconds to go. Grant Smith went inside, got absolutely hammered. Grant Smith going to drive inside, and he got hammered. No call. Panzu tipped it in. I've seen him have all year. Now they're going to go right down inside the Maxwell, who put it in again. Evan turning, stopping, popping, scoring. Where to save it is Grant Smith. Smith now going to go inside, put it up and in. Now Maxwell puts up a check a three wing. Here now is Grant Smith going to drive inside and score. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Driving inside, stopping a three for the win. Good! Good! They look, they throw in bounds, and on the hit a 70-footer, and it's no good, and the Cats survive!
Guys are just getting the nerves out of their system. Every game that we win is fun, and we have joy in that, and it's survive in advance. So whether we win by 40 or whether we win by 1, we're happy either way. We're happy to move on.
Now inside, Joel Okafor with a tough shot and all the way down. What a putback! And Trevor Wade both got hammered. Here's a three and a three up and go. Grant Smith trying to drive, put up a shot and got it. Fink now gets it inside and a shot blocked by. That was a great shot. He shot got rejected. Now going inside, they kick it off, and inside, and a slam! Down inside, Maxwell got absolutely knocked away. Grant Smith gets it off. Here's a wide open three. Go! Maxwell getting it off now to Mangus. Mangus will go inside and will score. Inbounding now, here is a three, and go! Grant Smith going to try to drive inside. Great pass over. They lob the ball inside to Mangus. They lob it inbounds to Maxwell. He put up a hook shot and hit it. That's inbound the ball. There's Okafor, and he missed a wide open layup. Put it back up and got the second, and there it is. On the Riverside Community Federal Credit Union.
All right. Well, Coach, didn't end like we wanted it to, of course, but Wildcats were trying to do something that hasn't been done ever in terms of making 5 out of 6 Final Fours and winning 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 6 national championships. But at that tournament, what we saw from Spring Arbor, you have to be healthy, you have to get hot, and you just put a string of games together, and it's still a great season. When you look at everything in context, what a year for the Wildcats. 30-plus wins, conference championships. It was a good year. It was a great year.
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Anytime you can win this league, most people would chalk it up as a really good year. And I think a lot of people are going to see the points scored and the wins and the losses, but, man, just the growth of our guys individually. It's kind of something that a lot of people won't see, and as a coach, and I know our staff is so proud of our guys, and just from the first day we came in June to how we finished a couple of days ago, it was a very successful year.
Let's talk a little bit about the seniors. Of course, we had Evan Maxwell for 2 years, helped win the national championship last year. Really, you saw him flourish off the court, even more so on the court. A guy like Joel Okafor, who, he came in here, and at first you're wondering, like, how's he going to fit, and how, when's he going to lead? But, boy, he sure took off. I thought, especially at the end of last year and this year, he was just phenomenal. And Trevor Waite, a guy who, all 4 years just has been so solid and consistent. Those 3 guys have really kind of followed the footsteps of the other seniors, but they certainly leave a lot of themselves in this program.
Yeah, I think what's special about those guys is obviously the culture of our program is God first, other second, yourself third. And in the midst of all those guys going through kind of the rough stretch of their career, they decided to focus on other people. And that's kind of when things started to turn around, and they leave on such a high note and leave the program in good hands because of the leadership that they led with this last year. And
as we wrap this up today, but really good hands with the sophomores, Grant Smith, and of course Kyle Mangus, the player of the year in the conference. I think we saw a couple freshmen, Isaiah Payton, Jonathan Panzu, even out in the national tournament, step up and make some plays. Looking for that next year. So got a lot of good returning guys. Got some freshmen we expect to step up. So I'm already excited about next season. Yeah, and then can't forget about Kanan Coffey. Yeah. Just the leadership that he brings through leading by example and how hard he works. And then even Trevor Harrell. He's going to go pretty unrecognized, but, man, he just took ownership of the scout squad and the bench and made an incredible impact on our team this year. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on a great season, on a conference tournament championship, a conference regular season co-championship, an Elite 8 appearance, 30-plus wins. It was a great season. Yeah. And finally, congratulations to the Cougars of Spring Arbor. Coach Ryan Cunningham, there's no better guy in the business. Yeah, he's definitely first class, and he does it the right way. Winning's not the main emphasis of their program, and we're happy for those guys. All right. Well, once again, Coach, thanks for joining us. As we said, the Wildcats, we can't wait to see them back here in action on WIW in 2019-2020. It'll be here before you know it. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk ladies basketball as the head coach of the Wildcats, Ethan Whaley, joins us in studio. Well, welcome back to Wildcat Week. The women's basketball team, they traveled to Sioux City, Iowa to compete in the NAIA National Championship Tournament. Here with us today is the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Ethan Whaley. And Coach, welcome back to the show. Time to put a wrap on women's basketball. Similar to what I asked Coach Weidner, the fact that a team actually gets to a national championship tournament is no small feat. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort, and you have to go through the grind of a regular season, and especially in the Crossroads League. It's a big-time deal to get there.
Yeah, we were very honored and felt very privileged to be able to go out there and compete with the best. Because you're right, it is a long season. You have to have a lot of luck, whether it's, bodies stay healthy. Mm-hmm. Maybe you pull out a few games at the buzzer when you shouldn't or whatever. You hit some shots. A lot of things got to go well for you to have a season and a successful enough season to make it to the tournament. So we were fortunate to do that, and even more, we were fortunate to win a game out there. So I was proud of our players and really proud of the year.
In a few minutes, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights of that trip and those games. But the first game against Bryan, you guys came out of the gates unbelievably well. I think jumped out to like a 16-2 lead or 14-2.
14-2, yeah.
Led by 18 at the half, built a 26-point lead. And this is a game that was a team in Bryan that was 31-1 on the season, and so it had to be fun that first game just to see everything you work on come together in one game.
Yeah, we knew we would have an advantage in the paint. Mm-hmm. They had a group of really quick athletic guards, not so much a post presence. So we knew we had the advantage, and we're really proud of our players. Nicole Ignashik was amazing in that game. Finished well, one of the better games of her career, and what better time to do it than on the brightest stage.
And then you had to take on a Northwestern team that was just absolutely firing on all cylinders. They're an explosive team. They're really deep, very athletic, very physical team. But I thought you guys, your team really competed extremely hard in that game.
Yeah, it was, you said it was physical, and it was a really competitive game. I was proud of our players once again. At the end of the day, they just made more plays than we did. Tip your caps to them. They went on to Final Four, and they lost in the closing seconds of a Final Four game. They were so close to a national championship. So it was a really good team. Mm-hmm.
Good atmosphere too, because that's kind of one of the home teams, if you will.
Yeah. There was, I think they said, a couple thousand fans there going crazy. And, it was a lot of fun. It was a great way. You never want to end on a loss, but if you got to end on one, that wasn't a bad one to end on.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a look back at this trip now. And once again, our WIW-TV crew was with the ladies in Sioux City, Iowa.
Young special needs Olympians filled Tyson Event Center on Tuesday, the day before championship games began.
We'll follow you. We'll hang out with you. You seem pretty cool.
Teams paired up with 5 or 6 kids to play the variety of games stationed around the arena. It was also a chance for the college basketball girls to take a breath before the big day and share a little of the spotlight with their friends.
A Lady Wildcat game day begins with breakfast, stretching, team bonding, and a player-led devotional.
It's something Coach Whaley came up with. Juice basically means energy. Juice is excitement and hype. And we have juice because we all get to play together and we get to play with joy. So we want to bring that on the court today when we play.
Following the pregame pep talk, the Wildcat ladies were feeling the juice and ready to take on Bryan College.
Out to Woofter, she'll pop a 3, and it's in and out, back in! Margot Woofter with her third 3.
I seriously just I prayed that before. I was like, Lord, I know you've blessed me with this ability, and I just pray that I would glorify you. And I truly felt his spirit in me tonight, and it was so much fun. Not to mention, my teammates fed me the ball, which made it easier.
Carly Lange had 10 points and chipped in 5 rebounds. Lange also had 4 assists.
Looks far side, driving is Lang. Lang spins around, puts it up off the glass and in.
The key to victory on our board this morning was that if we disrupt them, because most of the time they haven't seen the disruption that we could apply onto this team, we thought we would kind of mess them up a little bit, and that's probably what led to that 14-2 or 12-2 run.
get it in the paint touch motion, and not even just to me, but to everybody. Like whether it's cuts in or drives in, we know we like really strive off of that, and especially when I got it, I wanted to make the most of every touch I had.
Groninger stops, out to Woofter, pops another three, hits another three.
After a well-deserved victory, the team began to prepare for another day. Because in the NAIA National Championship, ending a day with a victory means another chance to battle and bring the juice tomorrow.
On Friday night, the Lady Wildcats took on Northwestern in the second round of the NAIA National Championship Tournament. It was a back-and-forth game with many swings and momentum. Early in the first quarter, Margot Woofter hit a mid-range jumper to bring the Wildcats to within 10 of Northwestern.
Woofter looks inside, drives to the baseline, puts up the runner and put it in.
Margot had a team-high 27 points in the game. Here's Carly Lang with a nice rebound and putback to put the Cats within 7 in the second. This was one of Nicole Ignashik's 17 points in the game, with a nice bump and score here. The Lady Wildcats finished the year with a 21-13 record in Ethan Whaley's second year at the helm. 3 starters will return next year: Dayton Groninger, Carly Lang, and Margot Woofter.
Shot clock down to 5. Out it goes to Key. Now it's to Woofter for a long three. Buries it!
Off the bench, key contributors Janae Goodwin, Elena Adejua, and Stephanie Conrad will return as well.
Adejua gets the second one.
Well, again, another nice look back. And, Coach, we saw in there, you got some great players come back. Got to mention one last time, though, your seniors, Mikala Martini, Nicole Ignatius, Katie Key. They've seen the ups and the downs of the program, but they leave the program in I think, some pretty good hands, and they've done a great job.
Yeah, you know, one thing we talk about with our players and in our program is just leaving something better than you found it. Mm-hmm. Whether that's you go into a school and volunteer, you leave it better than when you got in there. Obviously, that's no different than when you come into a program like they did as freshmen and leave as seniors. There's no doubt, there's no questioning that Indiana Wesleyan's a better place because of their presence here. So we're grateful for them, proud of them, and excited to see what's next for them.
Well, Coach, and thanks to you for coming by this season, and it'll seem like an eternity, but then we'll be back next year talking basketball before we know it.
Let's do it. I'm going to miss you, Raj. I don't know what I'll do on Thursdays anymore.
That's right. Well, again, thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Well, we will see, as we said, women's basketball back in action here in 2019-2020. Excuse me. Can't wait to have the Wildcats back here in WIWU. Well, when we come back, Mikala Woodfork will bring us the breakdown, and we'll talk to Steve Babinski, the head coach of the softball team, about their recent action in their spring trip. Well, welcome back to Wildcat Week. Now we send it over to Mikala Woodfork with this week's breakdown.
Thanks, Roger. Baseball had 2 tough losses against IU Kokomo. In the first game, they lost 4-0, but in the second game, they put up a much bigger fight, only losing 5-4. The women's softball team, however, had a big win against Parks, winning with a score of 18-8. Cheerleading finished up their season competing in the NAIA National Championship. The team finished in 11th out of 13 teams with a 68.03 score in the preliminaries and a 66.62 score in the finals, giving them a total score of 66.98. Both the men's and women's tennis teams were down in Florida, where they faced Southeastern. The women came out on top with a score of 5-0, and the men also came out on top with a score of 5-4. The swimming team wrapped up their season earning 7th of 26 in the 4-day NAIA National Championship. Sydney Darnell earned All-American, placing 3rd in the 100 fly, and the 200 medley relay team also earned All-American, placing 6th at a time of 1 minute and 48 seconds. Finally, the basketball teams wrapped up their amazing seasons at the NAIA National Championships. The women made it to the round of 16, losing to Northwestern in a tough fight with a final score of 83-70. The number 1 men's team made it to the quarterfinals, but were defeated by the number 8 Oregon Tech team with a final score of 107-93. This was the first time since 2015 that the Wildcats were not able to make it to the semifinals. But that's okay though, because we'll get them next year. Well, that's all I have for you this week on The Breakdown. Back to you, Roger.
All right, thank you so much, Mikala Woodfork. Well, the softball team, they're moving their way into the Crossroads League play now after a trip out to Arizona for spring break. And here to talk about the beginning of their season is head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Steve Babinski. And Coach, did you want to come back from Arizona?
It's hard coming back from 70 and sunny anytime.
Well, when we talk about a new season of softball, I think it's probably appropriate to say let's talk about kind of the end of last year, because it was such a great year for Indiana Wesleyan. 58-12, 58 wins. I don't know if any other team in the country at any level had more wins than that. But your second consecutive trip, not only to the national tournament, but also to the World Series. You've been to the Nationals now 5 of the last 7 years. So it's great to see that kind of that expectation of success. It's starting to grow and build, and it helps to kind of launch you into the next year.
You're right. Like, we have sophomores that all they know is World Series. We have juniors that's the same. They've been in the World Series twice. And the freshmen come into that culture who are kind of engulfed into a level of excellence. And let's perform every day, every practice, never miss a practice, never take a rep off.
You know, I listened to you on a podcast where you're talking about, the culture team. You love to win. Your girls love to win. You want to win, but the winning is only a platform for something else.
Absolutely. Like, we just came back from Arizona where we had 6 baptisms. One was planned. We set up one, and Holy Spirit's moving. And on 2 separate occasions, we had 3 girls get baptized, and then another 3. It was phenomenal being able to see that and be a part of that.
Well, getting on to this year now, though, you began the season based on success of last year, largely, number 7 team in the nation. I cannot recall us ever being preseason that highly ranked. You sit at number 10 right now. You're 15-5. Tell us, in terms of your trip out to Arizona in the start of the season, where do you feel your team is at in terms of on-the-field play?
Yeah, we're still trying to find our identity. We've had some setbacks with injuries and sickness, and so we've been able to try to figure out a couple new nuances. But I've always said I'll gladly lose every non-conference game to get us in a position to win the conference, because non-conference doesn't get us to where we want to be at a chance at the opening round of nationals. So right now, 15-5, got a lot of good experience for a lot of new faces. So with that, excited to be led by some experience on the mound, great defense, and a very creative way of scoring runs and a fun offense.
And speaking of conference, a runner-up in the regular season, and then the conference championship, you won that title. You guys, as I said, number 10 right now. Obviously, you have to look at Marian University. The Knights, they're a very solid program. They're in the top 5 right now, I believe. But there's other teams out there too that could compete, and it should be an interesting year in the Crossroads League.
Yeah, the league is really a dogfight each and every year. A few years ago, Marian's kind of separated from the pack, and in the last few years, we also separated. But Marian started off the season 10-0, and they just threw a no-hitter against number 20th in the nation, and they're going to be the team everyone's gunning for. It's going to be a dogfight.
Coach, hopefully soon the weather will start to cooperate and you'll get out there, but it's just the reality right now, though, isn't it? You just have to kind of see what each day brings.
100%. We already canceled tomorrow's game and Saturday's game, and the challenge there is the games then get pushed back and they stack up. We could have 8 games in a week, and it's tough for the students to time manage, and it's tough for health and recovery, but we're not alone in this. All 10 teams in the league have to put up with this, and I just want to hit the field again, though. Just want to go.
Well, Coach, we look forward to watching you guys out there on the field during the spring, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you a little bit more later on this year on Wildcat Week, okay?
Thank you, Raj.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you on this episode of Wildcat Week. If you would like to see more of Wildcat Week, you can visit our website, wiwtv.com, and there you can watch past episodes and connect with us online. Again, that's wiwtv.com. And you can stay connected with all our local programming by subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's WIWTV 51. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week. So for all of us here, thanks for watching Wildcat Week.